parliamentary vote on constitutional reform is questioned, court says referendum may be needed. Amendment bill faces its third reading vote under Section 256 of the 2017 Constitution, but last week, the Constitutional Court handed down a decision saying that while Parliament could proceed to rewrite the Charter, it must first seek the public's approval by referendum and at the end of the process, again seek final approval for any resultant provision in order to amend or replace the existing Constitution. Thailand could soon find itself facing a referendum seeking public approval for constitutional change, according to one side of an argument developing in Parliament and political circles following a key decision of the Constitutional Court last week. Parliamentary Party MP Pabunatitoran, who brought the case to the court, said this week that the current process in Parliament now lacks legitimacy and a referendum is required to carry forward constitutional reform. Strikingly, it is also the position of former Food Thai Party chief strategist Kuning Sudarat. Parliamentary Party MP Pabunatitoran says that the vote planned for Wednesday to move the constitutional reform process forward in Parliament is flawed. Following a Constitutional Court decision last week, he indicated that a referendum may be required first. The measure, now due to be voted on its third and final reading, appears to have the support of academics and Food Thai MPs, but the party's former chief strategist, Kuning Sudarat, has also called for a referendum to begin the process with a mandate from the people. The president of the Thai Parliament, Chuan Lik Pay, has indicated that a vote on the third reading of a bill or amendment to rewrite the Thai constitution scheduled for Wednesday the 17th of March is to go ahead despite a ruling last week from the Constitutional Court which put the whole process in question. Last week's ruling was handed down by a majority decision of the court after a petition was submitted by Senator Somchai Swankar and Parliamentary Party MP, Pabunatitoran. Ruling party MP Pabunatitoran says current process underway in Parliament is flawed. In recent days, the ruling party MP has said he thinks that the process currently underway has now been undermined by the court's ruling and is essentially invalid. The public should have been asked in a referendum first whether they wanted the Charter amended in its entirety, he said. In its ruling last week, the court examined Section 256 of the 2017 Constitution, which in 9 separate clauses sets forth a process to alter or amend the Constitution. The court's ruling has become the source of different interpretations and disagreements on how to proceed. Parliament President Chuan Lik Pay pushes ahead. An advisor to the Parliament's President, Mr. Sukit Athopakorn, has confirmed that the vote will proceed on Wednesday on the third reading as stipulated in Section 256 of the Constitution. A deputy leader of the ruling Parliamentary Party and government whip, Mr. Wiratratanasat, however, has expressed caution. We have to tread carefully, he said. Food Thai Party officials and academics agree that the current process must be pursued. The Secretary-General of the Food Thai Party, Prasachantararuongtong, indicated that his party's MPs were ready to proceed with the vote. This course is supported by many academics such as Pranay Thiwanramitkul of Thammasat University, who suggested the way is clear to approve the process in Parliament and have the matter then referred to a referendum based on the court's decision. This was a similar stance taken to that of Chusak Siranal, a deputy leader of Food Thai. Former Food Thai leader Kuning Sudarat agrees that a referendum is now required. However, a former member and key leader of the party, Kuning Sudarat, has said that the process in Parliament should be abandoned and efforts made to quickly go to the people with a referendum to have a new constitution drawn up under existing legal provisions. The Constitutional Court, in its decision last Thursday, ruled by a majority that any proposal to write a new constitution must first begin with a referendum allowing the people to decide whether they want to adopt such a course or not. It accepted that Parliament had the power to proceed in such a manner under the existing constitution once approved by the people. Court accepted that Section 256 can be used in this manner by Parliament subject to the public's approval. The court accepted that Section 256 can be used in such a fashion, but it also then stipulated, by unanimous vote, that a final referendum must be put to the public to accept any new constitutional provision which would be the result of such a process. The confusion on the matter stems from whether this is a process to amend and alter the existing constitution or a bill to compose an entirely new supreme law. Urgency created by student-led street protests. The urgency of the matter has been caused by ongoing street protests as Parliament has attempted to find an answer to demands for constitutional change to the current status quo, which the protesters and many observers see as biased towards the ruling party and establishment, still seen as linked to the military. However, it is thought that MPs from the ruling Palang Pracharat Party and other more conservative voices may now oppose the current process underway based on the court's decision when the vote is taken on Wednesday.